Everybody, it's so great to see all your faces, even some faces I didn't expect to see. So today I want to start out with asking you two questions. First question: were we intended to live forever? What do you think? Okay. Can we live forever in our current state? No. Physical health pillar. I want to share with you a letter that I received. Special delivery, ABV SDA Church, care of Jose. Dear humans, I write to you regarding my little children on earth. They need SPEMS, S-P-E-M-S. These are the health pillars for eternity: spiritual, physical, emotional, mental, and social. The physical is a priority. The physical health pillar is a priority today because it decreases illness and it promotes a relationship with me. So please eat heavenly and exercise often. Who do you think signed this letter? Who sent me this letter? It says, love Jesus. So I'm going to keep this letter. Let's start. So the physical health pillar. Last time I was up here, or a few times ago, I spoke on the S of SPEMS, the spiritual. Today we're going to do the P, which is the physical. The physical consists mainly of a lot of things, but I'm going to focus on exercise and food. Let's start with exercise. And you all already know by now that I like formulas, okay? So I want you to go back to your intro to physics, and we're going to talk about the formula for exercise. And exercise, the formula for work, and then we're going to see how that is exercise. So anybody remember the formula for work or exercise? What two things you need to do work? I heard it. Force times distance. That's right. Force times distance. That's the formula for work. And it's very similar for exercise. So I need 2 volunteers because, well, 1 volunteer because I already voluntold someone. So Austin is going to be my Y. Point Y, Y-axis is Austin. And I need somebody to be the X-axis and the X point. Preferably you're smaller. Any small people want to be my X-axis, please? All right, come on up here. So this is Austin, and what's your name? Abel? Ooh, 2 A's. Here you go, Abel. You can hold it up, and you can look through it if you want to, so people can take pictures of you, okay? All right. So, now, your point X and your point Y. Now, I need 1 more volunteer who's has a lot of energy. Who has a lot of energy? Oh, okay. So one of those hands over there. Come up here if you have a lot of energy. Oh, okay, well, come on. All right, now, we're going to take this chair, and we're going to take this chair over to point X, okay? Here's the chair at point X. Now, can you get this chair from X to point Y for me? Go ahead and move this chair from this point to this point. Can you do that? Very good. So she's using force, and she moved the distance. Thank you very much. Now come back over here. Now I want you to move this book. I hope I didn't lose a page in here. Move this book from point X to point Y. Excellent. So where did she do more work? With the chair or with the chair or with the book? So which variable did she change to do different work? The distance or the force? She changed the force. Good job. Thank you. You can go back to your seat. And you guys can just relax, sit down, but don't leave. So that's very similar to exercise. And in exercise, I notice whenever I go to a gym, especially the more expensive gyms where my kids play tennis, there are people paying money, lots of money, to work. They're walking on the track with a chain around their belt, pulling huge metal rings. And they're sweating, and they're paying money to do that. And then if I drive to work or down the road, I see people who are doing the same thing, but they're doing it to get paid. They're working on a farm, they're working at a construction site. So it's interesting that some people will do exercise to get paid, and other people will pay to do that exercise or the work. And it's the same thing, force times distance. So I want us to now look, continuing on the theme of physics and science, I want to show you a graph of the science and the medicine of exercise benefit on our body. Okay, so where's my y-axis? So is y a graph always has a horizontal and a vertical axis, right? Which one is the y? Is it horizontal or vertical? It's the vertical. Do you know how I remembered that when I started doing physics in college? Because this looks like an arrow, and it's pointing up and down. That's the only way I can remember it. So that's the y-axis. The x-axis, if you can stand up, the x-axis is usually horizontal. So here is my x-axis, and I'm going to leave it on the floor. And here is the y-axis right here. So can you, Mr. Axis Y, hold your axis? Thank you. And can you're just going to step on this, okay? So step back a little bit. Now, I want you to step right here, and don't let it go. Step on it. You got it? Tell me when you got it. Get comfortable, because you're going to stay there. All right, don't let it go. So now we have an X and Y axis. And this is how scientists plot the benefits of exercise, okay? So if you see here, the x-axis represents the exercise that you do. So here we're doing a little bit of exercise. We're moving books and picking up pens. And as we go this way, we're doing more and more exercise, push-ups and sit-ups and carrying babies on our hip. There's more exercise over here, okay? So what do you think happens on this graph? As you do more exercise on the x-axis, what are the benefits that increase? And see, it shows it's increasing. So what do you, tell me some ideas. I have my research citations here. What increases as you do more exercise for your health? Your heart rate increases, and what does that do for your health? It builds your heart, definitely. Because we have to be very specific, because there are some drugs that are sold in back alleys that increase your heart rate. So we got to be specific. Heart rate increases, but it does it in a way that helps your heart. Very good. What else does it do? Sweat. What happens as you sweat more with exercise? You're releasing poisons. You're working your circulation. And as you sweat more, the sweat goes up. What sensation increases? You're sweating, so you want to drink, right? You get thirsty, so very good. What happens to the quality of your sleep as you exercise more? You get better quality of sleep, you get more sleep. What happens to the development of the brain in little children when they're exercising and playing and running and sweating and breathing fast and knocking over furniture and breaking the screen door by accident? What happens? Their brain development. What happens to strength as you exercise more? It climbs, it goes up. So the benefits go on and on. What happens, and this is my favorite part, in counseling, behavioral health, and psychiatry, what happens to your mental health, your emotional state when you exercise more? It improves. What's the best treatment for depression? What's the best treatment for anxiety? What's the best treatment for suicidal ideation? Exercise. Can you kill yourself if you're exercising? Can you be sad if you're exercising? I want all of you to get your phones out. I want you, all of you get, who has a phone? Get your phones out, because this is, now we're talking about real life, okay? Everybody get your phones out, and when you have your phones out, go to the screen where you dial a number and dial 988, and then just listen to the first sentence and then hang up. Okay, did you guys get that? What number is that? Suicide hotline. In my profession, I have to give this number to a lot of my patients. And I want you to have it because I don't know, you can't tell if someone's thinking about suicide just by looking at them or how happy they are or how much they're smiling or how much they're exercising. Okay, so I want you, I kind of went on a tangent, but I don't know when I would be able to share that with so many people. So save that number, 988. Okay, so there's lots of benefits to exercising. Okay, thank you guys. You've been working a lot. Go ahead and sit down, but don't leave. I'll use you later. You can put the axes down. Thank you. So we see that science and medicine promote exercise. And what's amazing is that one of our inspired prophetic writers knew this hundreds of years ago. So I want to share with you some information from Ellen G. White, okay? And I'm going to start out with medical ministry on page 295. And she was addressing persons that were going to an assembly, a meeting, or a convention for the church. And if they weren't in a good spirit, this is her recommendation. Take an axe and chop wood or engage in some physical exercise. Does chopping wood fit the definition of work and exercise, force times distance? What's the force? Is swinging the axe. And what's the distance? From here to here, okay? So, chop some wood, engage in physical exercise until your spirit is mild and easily to be entreated. Just as surely as your stomach is creating a disturbance in your brain, your words will create a disturbance in the assembly. Okay, you got that? God lays upon all humans the duty of taking care of the soul temple. Okay? And here's another one. This is from, what is CE? Councils on Education. If facilities for manual labor were provided in connection with the schools, the students would be required to devote a portion of their time to some active employment. It would prove a safeguard against many of the evil influences that prevail. So there were evil influences on the students back in, it doesn't say what year this was, but in the 1800s. Are there evil influences on students today? Do you think it's more or less, or the same? It's more. If you see that slope there, we could put it on that graph, and it would just shoot straight up to the sky. Useful occupations substituted for frivolous and corrupting diversions would give legitimate scope for the exuberance of youthful life and would promote sobriety and stability of character. So, again, if you're exercising, can you as a teenager, as a kid, as an adult, can you spend 6-10 hours a day on an electronic device if you're exercising? I know there's some things that have a screen, but if you're, and I know you can hook stuff to your glasses now, watch videos to your glasses, right? But if you're doing exercise the way God intended, you will not be involved in diversions that corrupt and that are frivolous. Okay? All right. This is from Counsels on Health. The whole system needs the invigorating influence of exercise in open air. A few hours of manual labor each day would tend to renew the bodily vigor and rest and relax the mind. Rest and relax. That's a formula for treating what we said earlier: anxiety, depression, suicidal ideation. When do those three spike as far as severity at what's going on in life? Number one, there's stress. Number two, you're sleep deprived. When they study the teenagers that commit suicide, guess where they spent the most hours right before committing suicide? What were they doing? They were on their phone. They were doing something electronic, artificial, something that's considered social. Okay? All right. So what are some exercise Olympic champions in the Bible? Remember, force times distance. They were working. They were sweating. They were breathing hard. Give me some names. Samson. Give me a few more names. David. Noah. Yes, Noah. Okay, Elijah. What about Joseph and Joshua and Peter and Ruth and Jesus Christ? Could Jesus Christ have had his disciples carrying him on some 12 strong men? Could they have somehow been carrying him? And he easily got a donkey when he needed it, so he didn't have to walk all that time, right? But Jesus Christ did exercise. Okay. My favorite reason for using force times distance, my favorite reason is shown in this following story. Who knows the story of the little red hen? Have you guys heard the story of the little red hen? Who's heard? You've heard it? Anybody else? The little red hen. I heard that story many times when I was a kid. And it goes like this. There was a little red hen who lived on a farm. She lived with a cat, a dog, and a rabbit. And one day she said, "Hey guys, I'm going to make a cake. Who wants to go and cut the wheat?" And each of those animals said, who remembers? "Not I," said the dog. "Not I," said the cat. "Not I," said the rabbit. So the little red hen went, don't ask me how, but the little red hen went with a hoe or a sickle, and she cut the wheat. And she brought the wheat back home, and she said, "Who wants to take the wheat to what's the thing that squashes the wheat? The mill. Who wants to take the wheat to the mill?" "Not I, not I, not I." So she took the wheat to the mill. They did the mill thing to it, gave her a bag. She came home with the bag. Don't ask me how she carried a sack of flour, but she came home, and she said, "Okay, who wants to bake the cake?" And everybody said, "Not I, not I, not I." So she baked the cake. And when it was all done, the cat, the dog, and the rabbit, they started waking up from their naps, getting out of bed, at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and following their nose to the kitchen. And they got in the kitchen, and the little red hen was pulling out the cake, and she said, "Who wants to eat the cake with me?" And what they say? "Ooh, me, I want to. And she said, and she did like this, Y'all are not eating this cake because I cut the wheat, I took it to the mill, and I baked the cake. So they watched her eat the cake. So that's my favorite reason for using force times distance. I remember when I was little, my mom would not let us eat lunch until we did some work. She would say, manos a la obra, which means hands to the labor. So, now, that's my transition into food, okay? Food's the second part of the physical health pillar. Okay, my y-axis, so get your axis over here, and my x-axis, let's see here, and this time, this will go on that side. So we'll take that over there. Very good. Oh, these guys are mathematical experts. I didn't even have to tell him. Y'all teaching him graphic trigonometry? That's perfect. Okay, so we just moved the axis over. This is the scientific explanation of the quality of food when it spends time in a factory, or in a boxcar on a train, or in a freezer, which is known as processed food. Okay? So, as the food, so we're going this way. So here is 1 hour of processing food. So the little red hen, let's say it took her an hour to cut the wheat and take it to the mill. 1 hour of processed food. Here is 1 day. Here is 1 month of processing food. And look what happens to the quality of the food for your health. It drops dramatically. So, I want the kids to tell me some of their favorite foods. I brought my miniature set of foods here, so I'm bound to have whatever y'all shout out to me. And we're going to see where it falls on the graph of processed foods being factory time affecting the quality of food. All right, so tell me your favorite food. Oh, what is it? Corn. All right. Is it frozen? Is it in a corn dog, or is it on the cob? On the cob. Okay, let's see. Here we go. Corn on the cob. Very good. So this, and you're going to hold this in this hand, and we're going to put this over here so we know what bucket to put these in, okay? All right, corn on the cob. Is it high quality health? Since how long was this in the factory, corn on the cob? 0 time in the factory. So it's way over here on the x-axis, so it's high quality. Thank you. I intentionally brought little foods so his arm wouldn't get tired. Okay, give me another favorite food. Mangoes. Let's see. Here we go. Mango. Well, here's a mango, but it's not really ripe yet. Okay? So mango, does it spend any time? Well, is it mango chewing gum, mango soda, mango vape flavor? What mango is it? Fresh mango. Okay, so which side is it going to go on? No time in the factory? It's going to go right here. Who likes nice coffee flavored mocha cappuccino Italiano with a sprinkle of that brown powder and some whipped cream on top? All right. How long did all of those ingredients spend in the factory? Long time. So that's going to go over here. Okay? Here's a good one. These are little bottles that just cost $1 at the gas station, and it says on there, nutritious for energy. And they usually have a lightning bolt on it. or fireworks on it, and all you do is drink it, and it'll give you energy for the whole day, and you don't have to eat any food. Factory, or bush, or tuber, or legume. Factory. Long time in the factory, probably years. So it goes over here. Okay. What about, oh, here's one. What about potatoes? Are that fruits or vegetables? Okay, so here I have a vegetable. French fries. This is a vegetable, right? French fries, and I also have potato chips. Oh no, this is an onion-based potato chip. Okay, it says Funyuns, says onion rings. So French fries, onion rings, factory or natural? But it's onion. It says onions on here, and these are French fries. But you think they're factory, right? Proteins, vitamins, everything's been baked, bleached, reconstituted. There's no onions in here, and there's no potato in the French fry. It's all been boiled, fried away. All right, so that goes over here. What's that? Depends on who made the French fries. But that little packet, it was red with a big M on it. Okay, what about eggs? Just a fresh egg. I went in my neighbor's backyard and reached under the hen. Fresh egg. Any factory? No. So this can go over here. Nutritious. Let's see. We'll do a few more. Oh, here's one. Let's see. Okay. Here we go. Veggie chicken nuggets. So veggie chicken nugget. So nugget, definitely factory. Chicken is natural, and veggie is natural. But how they get the same time, I'm not sure. So I think this is going to be, you guys tell me, factory or natural? It's factory. And is it a day, a month, or transportation 2 months? So it's going over here. Okay. Here's another one. Oh, this one. Ooh. GMO. There's some DNA in here. Genetically modified lettuce. Come on. Genetically modified lettuce. I got the DNA here. I modified it. I used some enzymes, some preservatives, a petri dish. I might have added some other stimulants to grow. Factory? Okay. How long? How long does it take to count genomes, reprocess them, reconstitute them, and mix DNA? Takes a while. It takes a while. Okay. Let's do a few more. Oh, here's one. This is one of my favorites. I probably shouldn't do this because I'm not sure what you guys are going to say. But here are two of my favorites. It's a hamburger, particularly a Big Mac. And these are Oscar Mayer beef hot dogs. No, these are cows. There's cows right out there. This is natural. This was in a factory? Are you sure? Because on the label, it says healthy and it says natural. And sometimes it says something about fed out the window of the farmer or something like that. So, okay. All right. So, thank you guys. Thank you very much. You guys take a break. Go ahead and have a seat. So, the more time, and the last one I want to point out, I didn't get to do it, anything that has a geometric shape. So cereal that's shaped like a star is factory. No matter how much the kids argue with me when I'm talking to them. Anything shaped like that sponge guy or like Superman, anything with a shape that's not on the tree or in the ground is factory. Okay, so factory food is not healthy, processed food is not healthy. Now, let's look at some natural examples just in nature. If you watch nature shows, the animals that eat a lot versus the animals that don't have a lot, which one are more fun and exciting to watch on a nature show? Think about it. The animal that's hungry versus the animal that looks like this and is laying on grandma's couch. Which one's more fun to watch in a nature show? Which one's more exciting? Which one's doing more? Which one's pouncing and prowling and running and which one has muscles rippling? Which one do you respect more if you find them in the wilderness? The big one that's just, laying around or the one that's like. So that's just an example from nature. Here are the 3 A's that go with nutrition and that experts recommend. The first one is food should be anything with little factory time. We already went over that. The next A is food should be after the stomach has a break. So the stomach needs to rest just like the rest of your body. Just like your car. Who left their car running outside? Overnight, did you leave your car running? Just like a car, just like your body, it has to take a break. Snacking every hour, does your stomach get a break? No. What if it's healthy food? What if it's these foods over here? Your stomach is still working. And the next A is food should be amounts that satisfy hunger. Food should be amounts that satisfy hunger. If you take 3 bites of your food, if you walked across the desert and I handed you a plate of food, veggie chicken nuggets, and you ate 3 of them, are you hungry? Try it. As soon as you take 3 bites, you're not hungry. Do we eat to satisfy hunger? Most of us eat to satisfy who? We eat to satisfy self. What if you're 3 years old and grandma's visiting you? Who do you eat to satisfy? Grandma. I remember, I'm not going to say any names, but I remember when someone was little, like 1, and we had some friends over from a part of the world where everybody's big and a lot of them play professional football. And that lady said, "Are you feeding your child? She needs to eat more." So sometimes we eat to satisfy friends, family. We also eat to satisfy addictions. Have y'all heard of the lawsuits against companies that are being brought into court as defendants for addictive ingredients? Have y'all heard of those? Coca-Cola, some candy places. The cigarettes are always getting sued for addiction. But the food companies are getting sued because of addiction products and addiction ingredients. So we satisfy addiction. So food should be anything with little time factory, after stomach has a break, and amounts to satisfy hunger. Let's see what Ellen G. White says. This is all recent science. Let's see what our sister from 100 years ago had to say. This is CG. What's that? Councils on Guidance? Child Guidance. Okay. Those who eat and work intemperately and irrationally talk and act irrationally. It is not necessary to drink alcohol in order to be intemperate. The sin of intemperate eating too frequently, that's the after, right? You don't let your stomach break. You eat and take a snack. You eat all day and then you get a midnight snack. Eating too frequently, too much, the amount. You're eating beyond satisfying your hunger. And of rich, unwholesome food. What does that cover? Anything that spends time in the factory. destroys the healthy action of the digestive organs, affects the brain, perverts the judgment, preventing rational, calm, healthy thinking. And remember what 2 sermons ago, thoughts affect feelings, affect actions. And she closes, calm, healthy thinking and acting. All of these are perverted. So that's page 398. In the same 399, the same book, special care not to overeat. There are many sick who suffer from no disease, but they're eating too much. The cause of their sickness is indulgence of appetite. They think that if the food is... Oh, I probably shouldn't read this next one because we have potluck today, right? Is it safe to read? We don't have potluck? Okay, so I can read it. They think that food is healthful. They may eat as much as they please. They overeat thinking the food is healthy. This is a great mistake. Persons whose powers are debilitated should eat a moderate and even limited amount of food. This is from Ellen G. White. What about eating before bedtime? Many indulge this. I'm reading now from CTBH. Counsels to be better humans? I'm not sure what CTBH is. Anybody know? But it's page 50. It's by Ellen G. White. Many indulge in the pernicious habit of eating just before retiring. By indulging in this wrong practice, it becomes a habit, and they feel as though they could not sleep without food. When we lie down at night, the stomach should have its work all done, that it, as well as other portions of the body, may enjoy rest. So let me ask you this. When you sleep, does anybody connect their arm to a mechanical device so you can work your arm all night? Does that make any sense? Do you call Dr. Joel to hook up some device to pump your lungs twice the capacity of air every night to work your lungs all night? No. So if we make our stomach work, we're making our whole body work. Because in order for the stomach to work, what does it need? It needs blood. So your heart pumps more. And if your heart's pumping more, some of that blood goes to the brain. And if your stomach is growling and doing things, let me see where I can find it here. Here it is. The sleep such is often disturbed with unpleasant dreams, and in the morning they awaken unrefreshed. Think about Thanksgiving. After your Thanksgiving meal, are you active and ready to go? Okay, God, speak to me. I'm ready to see the light. How do you feel after Thanksgiving? You just want to sleep, right? You can't think. You can't. I hope there's never a disaster in our country right after Thanksgiving, because we're going to be in trouble. So, Daniel, Daniel chapter 1 tells a story where Daniel refused to corrupt and pollute his body with the king's food. So, in closing, heaven starts. When does heaven start? When do we start living a heavenly life? Jesus is not going to trick us. He's not going to change the rules. He's not going to change all the amazing stories from Daniel and Adam and Eve and all the health message that we've been learning. That's not going to change when we get to heaven. The Holy Spirit is not going to get evicted from our temple. Oh, you're in heaven now. We don't need the Holy Spirit. The image that we're created in heaven, it's not going to change to some nebulous, dusty form, stardust or anything like that. We're still going to be in the image of God. When my kids, last story, when we were going on our ski trip about 5 years ago to Colorado, and we were living in South Texas, where it's 100 degrees most of the year, what did I make my kids do for us to prepare to go on a ski trip? Do you think I let them take warm showers? No. They took cold showers. When it was raining or it got cold, Do you think I let them wear sweaters and stay in the house? No. We were preparing ourselves to go to Colorado. What do Marines do before they go into battle? Are they sleeping, playing video games? Ooh, let me work on my trigger reflex. What does Coco Gauff and Djokovic do before winning championships? We have to prepare now for going to heaven. So I'm going to leave you with this question. How will you use your muscles, and what will be the menu in heaven? Thank you very much.